Happy Wednesday, everyone. Today is Wednesday, December 16th, 2020. Our learning objectives for today are: I can write algebraic expressions by finding keywords. I can solve algebraic expressions by using substitution. And let's have a positive attitude today. And as always, choose kindness. Our agenda is to complete daily review to point 13. After you've finished that, you should have worked on Success Maker until everyone's done. Then what we're going to do in this lesson, we're going to review some of our topic 1 lessons. So we're going to review exponents. We're going to review solving numerical expressions using GEMDAS or PEMDAS. We're going to practice writing algebraic expressions. And then we're going to finish up our guided notes from yesterday, which is 1-4, solving algebraic expressions using substitution. Your homework for tonight is Math Excel 1-4. Let's go ahead and get started with that topic 1 review. We are going to start with reviewing our exponents. So my question to you: simplify the expression 2 to the power of 5. To solve for this, do you do 2 times 5 or 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2? What do you think? If you were thinking this, you took the base and multiplied it by the exponent. This is a common mistake people usually make. So the correct answer is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. It is the base multiplied by itself, the amount of times the exponent tells you. So in this case, 5. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Multiplying 2 by itself 5 times. All right, let's go ahead and solve for it then. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So if you want to do it this way, 4 times 4 times 2. 4 times 4 is 16. Times 2 is 32. All right, so 2 to the power of 5 is 32. All right, why don't you go ahead and solve or simplify the expression 3 to the power of 4. All right, hopefully you've given that a try. And if you took the base times the exponent and got 12, that is going to be incorrect. Remember, it is the base multiplied by itself, the amount of times that the exponent tells us. So 3 to the power of 4 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. So the simplified expression is 81. All right, if you have any questions on those exponents, make sure you are reaching out. But again, one of the most important things is do not take your base times your exponent. You multiply the base by itself the number of times the exponent tells us to. All right, the next thing we're going to go over is simplifying numerical expressions using the order of operations, or GEMDAS, or if you like using PEMDAS, we have P here. Or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. All right, so let's go ahead and start here. Remember, we work top down. So do we have any grouping or parentheses in this numerical expression? Yes, we do. So I'm going to underline what we're going to do. So we have 24 minus 16. If we can't do that on top of our head, just do it off to the side. 24 minus 16. Can't do this. I'll borrow. 6 goes into 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. That's 0. So we're left with 8. I'm going to put this here. And then we bring everything else down, only solving one step at a time. Since we solved everything in the parentheses, we don't need them anymore. All right. Grouping in parentheses, we have no more, so we are done. Go to exponents. 4 squared, or 4 to the power of 2, is our next one. So it is not 4 times 2, based off just what we talked about. It is 4 times 4, which is 16. And we're going to bring everything else down. Now that we've brought everything down, we can go ahead and no more exponents, so we can check that one off. The next one is multiplying and dividing. They are in the same group. We work from left to right. Okay, we have division here, so we're going to go ahead and solve that. 80 divided by 16, you can use your agenda. 80 divided by 16 is going to be 5. Bring everything else down. Okay. No more multiplying and dividing, so we're done there. Now, again, just like multiplying and dividing, adding and subtracting are in the same group from left to right. In this case, we only have one operation left, so that's what we are going to do. So 5 plus 8 gives us an answer of 13. All right, that is how you simplify. Remember, one step at a time, funneling it down to one number. What I'd like for you to do next is I want you to try to solve this one on your own. All right, let's go ahead and start with our order of operations. Remember, we start from the top. So grouping or parentheses, we have some parentheses right here. 8 minus 5, that gives us a 3. Now that everything is done inside the parentheses, the exponent we don't need the parentheses, and the exponent is going to go to what was inside the parentheses. So now this is 3 squared. Divide by 3 plus 15. Okay. Looking at our next section, there's no grouping and parentheses, so we can check that off. We do have exponents. 3 squared is 3 times 3, which gives us 9. Bring everything else down. So 15 plus 9 divided by 3. No more exponents, so we can check that off. Multiplying and dividing from left to right. I see division. So let's go ahead and divide 9 divided by 3, which is 3. Bring everything else down. 15 plus 3. Multiplying and dividing are done. Then we have adding, subtracting from left to right. Only one operation left. So that is what we are going to do. We should get an answer of 18. 18. All right, that is some review of numerical expressions and solving them. If you have questions about this, make sure you reach out to me. All right, the last thing I want to review here is writing an algebraic expression. So we have two situations here. The first one we'll go over together. The second one you will try on your own. We have 7 less than the product of 3 and x. looking at our key information, our keywords, we have less than and product. These are two different operations, meaning in our algebraic expression, we will have two operations. So two-step. So it says 7 less than the product of 3 and x. Remember the key thing about less than, that goes at the end. So we have to do the product of 3 and x first. Product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So 3 times x, so you can put a dot x, or we can just put 3x. 3 times x less than, we subtract 7. So 3x minus 7 represents 7 less than the product of 3x. So you are minusing that 7 there. All right, go ahead and try this last one. This is my cursor, ignore this. It is just the quotient of c and 10 plus 15. All right, let's go ahead and go over this one. You have the quotient of c and 10 plus 15. So your two key words for operations are quotient and plus. Remember, quotient is the answer to a division problem, and plus is addition. So we have the quotient of c and 10. So that's a division problem. So that's c divided by 10 plus 15. Or another way to write it is c divided by 10 plus 15. Remember, you can write division problems as fractions. All right, that is practice writing algebraic expressions. If you are struggling with this, please make sure you are reaching out to me. We're then going to go ahead and finish up our guided notes from 1-4, solving algebraic expressions. So get those guided notes out next. Going back to what we talked about yesterday, that is solving algebraic expressions using substitution. So in a problem like this from your guided notes, this is under part 2, we are going to substitute or replace our variables with some sort of value that they give us. In this case, this problem has two variables. So in this problem, remember, it was 3x plus 2y. That's 3 times x plus 2 times y. So we would take 3 times x, but we now know that x is 5. So 3 times 5 plus 2 times y. So 2 times y, we now know y is 8. So we replace or substitute 8 in for y. Then we use the order of operations to solve it. So 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 times 8, which is 16. So then we have 15 plus 16, and we should get an answer of 31. So the main thing is to remember in our variables, so our letters, they're going to give us values. We're going to plug those values into those numbers, or into those variables, then solve using the order of operations. In your guided notes here, you have this show me what you got problem. It's a big one. Now, instead of 2 variables, there's 3. You can do it though. You can do it. So it says evaluate 10 parentheses a plus b close parentheses minus 6c when a equals 12, b equals 5, and c equals 9. So remember, you're going to substitute or replace these numbers in for the variables given. So we're going to plug in 12 for a, we're going to plug in 5 for b, and we're going to plug in 9 for c. Go ahead and rewrite the algebraic expression with those substituted in, then solve using the order of operations. Give this a try on your own, then we'll go over it together. All right, here is our algebraic expression. We're going to substitute these values in for the variables and then solve using the order of operations. So I have 10, open parentheses, a, which a equals 12. So 12 plus b equals 5. So I'm going to plug in a 5 or substitute or replace 5 for b. Close that parentheses. Minus 6 times c. So we know c is 9. So multiply by 9. Okay, we have successfully now substituted or replaced all our values in for the variables. So now this is just a numerical expression and we solve using the order of operations. So grouping in parentheses come first, so we can solve for 12 plus 5, which is 17. Bring everything else down. Now everything's done in the parentheses, so we do not need the parentheses anymore, but it's 10 times those parentheses, so this is now going to be 10 times 17 minus 6 times 9. All right, 10 times 17 is going to be our next thing because we have no more parentheses. This parentheses here is just representing multiplication. So no parentheses or grouping, no exponents, so multiplying and dividing from left to right. So I see multiplying here. So 10 times 17 is 170. When you multiply by a power of 10, you take the number, then how many zeros it has just goes on the end. So 170 minus 6, I can write it like this, times 9 if you'd rather do that. And 6 times 9 is our next step, which is 54. So 170 minus 54. I'm going to do this off to the side. Can't do 0 minus 4, so I take here. This becomes a 6. Becomes a 10. That's 6. 1, 1. Okay, so 116 should be our answer. Simplified. If you're able to get that problem, that is fantastic. Okay, this is a huge algebraic expression with 3 different variables. Okay, so substituting in 3 different numbers, that is a challenging problem. But it is something that you can do. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to part number 3. All right, in part number 3, we are going to practice writing algebraic expressions and then solving for them by substituting values in for the variables. This problem says a pet service charges $10 to walk a large dog and $6 to walk a small dog. Write an expression for how much money the pet service will earn for walking B, large dogs, and S, small dogs. All right, so $10 to walk a large dog and $6 to walk a small dog. So the algebraic expression would be $10 times the number of large dogs that you walk. So if we walk 1, it's $10. If we walk 2, it's $20. If we walk B, some unknown value, large dogs, we would multiply it by 10. So 10B, 10 times the number of large dogs that we walked, plus $6 to walk a small dog. So plus $6. And do we know how many small dogs we walked? Nope. So we use the variable s, small dogs. So 6 times the number of small dogs we walked, which we don't know. So that's times the variable s. So this is your algebraic expression for how much the pet service would make for walking B number of large dogs and S number of small dogs. Okay, what I would like for you to do then is to solve part B. How much will a pet service earn for walking 8 large dogs and 3 small dogs? Hint, hint. Use substitution to solve for how much money they will make using this algebraic expression. Give it a shot, then we will go over. Okay, the pet service is using this algebraic expression to figure out how much money they can make. So $10 times the number of large dogs they walk plus $6 times the number of small dogs they walk. So it says that they walk 8 large dogs. So we're going to substitute 8 in for large dogs, which is B. So 8, oops, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and I messed that up there. 10 times number of large dogs, which is 8, plus 6 times the number of small dogs, which is 3. And that is our substitution into the algebraic expression. Now we use the order of operations to solve for it. Multiplication, multiplication, addition. Multiplying and dividing come first, so we work from left to right. So 10 times 8 is 80, plus 6 times 3. The next step is 6 times 3, which is 18. So we should have 80 plus 18. I'm going to bring this back up here. 80 plus 18 should give us $98. That means the pet service made $98 walking 8 large dogs and 3 small dogs. Who would take $98 for walking 8 large dogs and 3 small dogs? I know I would. That's some good money. All right, moving on to our last question for today. A class is going on a trip to a museum. It costs $730 to rent a bus. Each ticket to the museum costs $12. Write an algebraic expression that represents the cost of the trip for n people. Then evaluate this expression for 38 people. So I want you to try this one on your own. And what you are doing is you are going to write an algebraic expression. Then you're going to solve the algebraic expression using substitution. Then you should get the total cost if 38 people go on this trip. Give it a try. Okay, so solving this problem, a class is going on a trip to a museum. So to go to this trip, you need a bus to get there. So it costs $730 to rent a bus. So that is where we are going to start. It's going to cost us, no matter how many people go, no matter what we do, it's going to cost us $730 to rent a bus. Then it says each ticket to the museum cost $12. Write an algebraic expression to represent the cost of the trip for n people. Does the number of people affect the cost of the bus? Nope. But does the number of people going affect how much the tickets will cost to get into the museum? Yes, it will. So $730 to rent the bus plus $12 per ticket. We don't know how many tickets because we have n people going. So we take the price of a ticket and multiply it by the number of people going, which is n in this case. All right, this is the algebraic expression for the total cost of the trip to the museum. The last part of it says, then evaluate this expression for 38 people. So we have $730 for our bus plus $12 for a ticket times 38 people going into the museum, so need 38 tickets. That would be the total cost for this trip. Order of operations, we are going to solve 12 times 38 first. So 38 times 12 would be first. 8 times 2 is 16. That's 6, 7. Add my 0. I get 8. And then I get 3. Add these up. That's 6. That's 15. Carry my 1. That's 4. So $456 for just the tickets for 38 people. So if there was no bus involved, you just showed up for 38 people to get into the museum, it would be $456. But we had to get to this museum, and that cost us $730 to rent the bus. So now we're going to solve this. 730 plus 456. So add these up, we get 6, 8, and 11. So the total cost is $1,186. Wow, that's expensive. So next time you think, oh, we should take a field trip, think about how much money it costs to take 38 people. Now you talk about your whole grade, which has like 500 people. It gets really expensive really fast. So think about that when you do go on a field trip. You should feel very lucky and special that you are able to go on a field trip. All right, again, this is a tough problem, but you are capable of doing it. At this time, if there is still time left in class, you can go ahead and complete your 1-4 homework. If you have any questions, please make sure you are reaching out to me. Have a wonderful day, everyone.